Hello guys, welcome to today's episode of the Football Hub. How you guys doing? How's your day going? Mine is going fine. I just wanted to bring us an update, a recent update of what is going on with Arsenal. I'll just read it out. Next week, Arsenal's football leadership team, led by Mikel Arteta, Richard Garlick and Vice Chair Tim Lewis will meet with the owners, the Cronkies, to outline squad building plans for 2025. Jason Aito is likely to represent the recruitment department. Aito began at Arsenal as a video analyst and worked his way up to become Edu's right-hand man. Last year, a reshaping of the recruitment team led to Aito being named assistant sporting director. Jason Aito played a significant role in the most recent transfer window, supporting Edu in negotiations. He is a fluent Portuguese speaker and well regarded in European football circles. He will step up on an interim basis as Arsenal search for a new sporting director. Aito will be supported by James King, who joins from the PFA to replace Garlick as the director of football operations. King takes up his position from Monday, the Athletic FC. Now, this is just to tell us that Jason Aito will be taking an interim position as the sporting director. Of course, we all know that the sporting director, Edu, will be leaving Arsenal and is going for the owner of Nottingham Forest rather, and he'll be joining their group, where the owner of that Nottingham has about 3 different clubs. So he has been offered a much more higher role in that place, and with a much bigger pay, of course, in that place. But the emphasis I want to bring out is the fact that it is being led by Mikel Arteta. I remember when we were in the Wenger era, and a lot of things, that we talked about, and so much power that Wenger had during his era, and especially in terms of transfers. And it is not always good. It is always good for the sporting director and the head manager or the head coach of the team to be in tandem, to be together, to be in sync in terms of transfers and bringing in new recruits to the team. It is very good. But whereby the head coach or the head manager, in my own opinion, has more power, it is not good. Because in terms of result, who is he responsible to? Who is he responsible to? If things go wrong, if the results are not coming, who is he going to report to? Who is going to say, okay, this coach is no longer good enough for us? That means, as it stands, if that power, as I'm looking at it now, if that power is given to Arteta now, or he already has that power, to my own opinion, from the way we are looking at it, he already has that power. That means we can be in the next 5 years or 6 years without any trophies, and he will not be accountable to anybody. We can be in this position for the next 7 years. In fact, look at the way the season is going, and he will not be accountable to anybody. Let's take another example. For instance, Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti won Real Madrid the Champions League last season with Real Madrid. He also won La Liga last season with Real Madrid. Look at the way this season has gone with the results and everything. Do you know that there are rumors of him getting the sack? There are rumors upon all the players that they bought with Mbappe, Edric, Adagula, and all these guys that they have, even on the bench. There are still rumors of Carlo Ancelotti. We are talking about Carlo Ancelotti here at Real Madrid. And there are rumors of him getting the sack. Somebody who just won the Champions League and the La Liga last season. Let's go further to Xavi Hernandez of Barcelona. Last season, last 2 seasons, he won in his first season, he won the La Liga for Barcelona. Last season, he couldn't win it, he was sacked. But look at what we are going through. Arteta has been in the position of the head manager for Arsenal for 5 years. Only one major trophy, which is the FA Cup, with Unai Emery's team. And yet, look at where we are. Nobody is being questioned, he's not being questioned, he's not being asked, yet he's even given more power to have his say on transfer. There's even rumors that it was him that went for Calafiori and Merino and made sure they were brought to the team. Probably Edu didn't want those guys. He fought for those guys to come because he has been given such power. And absolute power brings corruption. Absolute power corrupts. This is very wrong. If we're looking at it very critically, it is very wrong. Because Arteta means Arteta cannot be accountable to anybody. It means Arteta cannot be accountable to anybody. Now, let's take a look at his record. And why I'll tell you why Arteta is not going to win an European trophy for us. Let's take a look at his record. Under Arteta, he has played 38 matches in Europe, whether it is the Europa League or the Champions League. He has played 38 matches. At home, he has played 19. Away from home, he has played 19. In those matches at home, he has won 13, draw 4 of them, and lost 2. And this is against so-called small adjudged small teams. So, with all due respect to them, away from home, watch again. Away from home, he has won just 9. Just 9, and this is in Europa. Just 9, drawn 6, and lost 4. So he has dropped points more than he has won away from home, and against so-called smaller teams. Against so-called smaller. In the Champions League alone, he has played 14 matches. That's last season and this season. 7 at home, 7 away. He has won 6 at home, draw 1, and he has not lost none at home. But away from home, he has won just once last season against a struggling Sevilla. If you remember, during that period, Sevilla were having a crisis during that period. They were changing coach. In fact, we were lucky. In fact, that game, if you remember that game, we were leading 2-0. They came back 2-1, and the dynamics of that game was even hectic. They could have even come back to draw that game. That is the only game we were able to win away from home. I was telling people that if we were going to do something in the Champions League, I want to see them away from home. Our first away match last season against RC Lens, even if you check the record of Arsenal against RC Lens in the Champions League, we've hardly won away from home. We've barely won away from home against RC Lens, and we got there. We were wiped. They beat us 2-1. I wanted to see how these boys were going to handle the atmosphere. They were going to handle the playing away from home, in that competition. The same thing against Porto, lost to them away from home. So you see what I'm saying? So with all this, you see that Arteta has not been able to really build a team that can really challenge for trophies on the European stage. He has not even built a team that can challenge in the home front, in the league. Talk more of challenging in European in this thing, in Europe. Look at what is happening this season. To tell you that this coach does not have the experience needed. Last season, you were playing fantastic free-flowing football. In fact, from last 2 seasons, you were playing free-flowing football, fantastic football, counter-attacking football, attacking football. We were scoring goals for fun. 5-6-0, 7-0. We were scoring goals. And then you look at it, it's because you didn't win the championship. That means you don't even have belief in your own style of play to win trophies. I remember an interview where they were interviewing Pep Guardiola, and he was asking, what is Arsenal doing here? Because he felt that the players are not enough. These players, you don't have world-class players enough to win you matches. Go back to the 2009 Champions League final against Barcelona and Barcelona against Man United. Go and see that goal that Eto'o scored. Before, when the match started and when Eto'o scored that goal, you will see that Man United was in that game. But the moment Samuel Eto'o broke the deadlock, you see that it was just one-sided. Barcelona began to play Man United off the park till Messi scored the second goal and won that match. This is what happens when you have world-class players, world-class strikers. If you even look at the goal from the angle from where Samuel Eto'o scored that goal, if you see it, go back and watch that game again. Just even if it's the highlight, go back and see how he was able to score that goal. Out of nothing, he was able to score that goal. These world-class players, they prove themselves again and again and again in key moments. And that is what is worrying Arsenal. Don't be surprised, this same Arsenal team, don't be surprised on Sunday you see them, they can play against Chelsea or get something from that match against Chelsea. Don't be surprised. It is when you least expect Arsenal to perform, that is when they perform. When you have expectations of them, when you want them to win a match or you want them to go out there and perform well, that is when they will disappoint everybody. So in key moments is where this team has always failed. In the last 10 years, in the last 15 years, in the last 20 years, key moments is where they've always failed. Key moment is where they always fail. And to tell you again, in the 2019-2020 season, Arteta crashed out of Arsenal crashed out of the UEFA Europa League to Olympiacos in the round of 32. I remember in that game, we won away 1-0, only for them to come and beat us at home 2-1 and qualified for that. That's when the away goes rule was still in place. They beat us at our home 2-1 after winning away 1-0. Not only that, we crashed out of the Europa League in the 2020-2021 season in the semi-final to Villarreal when Unai Emery was still with Villarreal. They beat us away 2-1, came to our house and we drew 0-0. We didn't even lay a glove on them. Then we crashed out of the UEFA Europa League in the round of 16 in the 2021-2022 season. We crashed out to Sporting Lisbon at home. To Sporting Lisbon, where they beat us on penalties. So you see this. So there's no point. I told my mates before the season started, Arsenal is not going to win any trophy this season. He was looking at me and saying, you're an Arsenal supporter. Why would you say such a thing? I said, no. Look at the summer transfer window. This is why I'm not a big fan of so-called Wenger and his policies at Arsenal. He's the one that brought this idea of you don't spend money to win trophies. You don't spend money to buy big players. You don't go and look at the teams that have won the Champions League in the last 10-15 years and tell me if any of them did not spend money. Tell me if any of them did not spend money, and I'll come back again and we'll argue this thing. Please, if you are new to this channel, please help us to subscribe, like this video if you love this content, and please tell us what you think in the comment section. So it is very obvious. I just want Arsenal fans, just reduce your expectations this season. Don't expect anything. They will win the odd matches here and there. They will win the big matches that you don't expect here and there. They can go to Man U away, win. Even Man City, they might even win at home, and you think, oh, yeah, Arsenal are back. But mind you, at the end of the season, it's the same thing. Just like Evra said, we are Netflix. We are next season FC. Thank you. God bless. Goodbye.